Hello. Today we're going to begin working on our portraits in the style of Tim Burton. These are going to be self-portraits, and I'm going to be working on gray toned paper. So make sure you have your gray toned paper. We're just going to be using a pencil for today, so gray toned paper and a pencil. And I also am looking at a mirror, and I did some research online looking at Tim Burton characters. And I also found some examples of possible eyes, possible mouths, possible noses. So definitely have some kind of resources, whether you print them out or maybe you are just looking online with a Chromebook. But definitely do some research, use your resources. And let's see. Okay. Going through a little bit. So and one of the things I notice about Tim Burton style portraits are they're very gaunt. The faces are very angular because you can see the skull. So we're going to be using slightly different proportions. There's different hairstyles, eyes, things that I found. So make sure you're going back and forth to that. Some of the chins can be very angular. So use your resources, use your mirror. Here we go. So I'm going to start by thinking about how big I want my self-portrait to be. Is it going to be all face? Is it going to be face and part of the upper body? Is it going to be the full body? So think a little bit about that. And I'm going to do my face about this big and a little bit of the body. So make changes as necessary. And I'm going to start by really lightly drawing a circle. I can't get it right the first time, so I do it a lot to really try and get a circle. And then a little trick that artists do is we will kind of map out where we want things to go. And it's going to look really messy, and that's okay because I'll erase later. So not quite in the center, but a little bit lower, I'm going to draw a horizontal line across my circle. And if you want to get fancy, you can let it dip a little bit. So my horizontal line dips a little bit, looks like a smiley face. And I'm going to draw a vertical line, but I'm going to extend my vertical line past my head to where I want my chin to end. So think about that. Do you want a really long chin? Do you want a higher chin, a short chin? Do you want a really round face? Maybe it barely goes down. I'm going to really exaggerate mine, and I want the chin to come down to a point, but you can absolutely make yours differently. So I'm going to kind of round up some upside down triangles and round up here. And I am going to use this to kind of help make my jawbones. And I know this doesn't look like a face, but we're kind of mapping out where we want things to go. I'm going to do really big round eyes. Again, you can look at some of your Tim Burton resources and maybe you do round eyes, or maybe you do more angular, angry eyes. So think about the kind of eyes you want. And we're going to draw the eyes on our horizontal. And mine are going to really be large and exaggerated. You can change yours if you want. You can make them different. But mine are much bigger than a regular self-portrait in regular human proportions. So I'm drawing my big eyes. And then I want to map out where I want my nose and my mouth to be. So some noses are really, really long. Some noses are really short and high. So I think I'll make my nose end like right here. And I'm just making a little horizontal mark. And I think I want my mouth right about here. So all I'm doing is making a little horizontal mark where I think I want things to go. And then I can go back and I can make a change if I feel like maybe my nose is too high or maybe my mouth is too low. And I don't actually have to erase a whole entire nose or mouth. I can just erase a little mark. And it's so much easier because it allows me to see where things will be. I'm going to tuck some ears in here. Again, your ears can stick out a lot. They can go in. Maybe you have hair that's down and longer and your ears will get covered. So think a little bit about your ears and where they'll go. And I'm going to make a skinny neck, much skinnier than usual. So skinny neck. And same thing, my shoulders are going to be kind of angular. So maybe I'll angle them down like a triangle. And then my arms will drop off here. Maybe you can even see my collarbone a little bit because I'm like a zombie. Little check mark. And I'm just sketching out where I want things to go. Now with the hair, when you draw your hair, Hair doesn't sit on top of our head. Hair overlaps and comes down and covers a lot of our forehead. So I'm actually going to draw my hair in chunks. I'm looking in the mirror. I have a little part here. And I'm going to draw my hair in big chunks as if I was making it with clay. So some of it goes up and over my head. Some of it will overlap. And the great thing with Tim Burton characters is you can really exaggerate and make your hair any way you want. Maybe it's really thin. Maybe it's thick. So I'm kind of drawing my hair in chunks, overlapping part of my drawing. Maybe it overlaps the ear here even more. And I'm drawing right on top. And for some of you, this is going to make you crazy because this just looks way too messy for you. But we are going to clean it up. This just allows me to do a really quick drawing in 5 minutes, figure out where everything is, and make changes without completely erasing my drawing. Now here's a whole bunch of different nose suggestions I was looking at. There's some noses here, here. You can make any kind of nose you want. I was watching some Tim Burton movies, and the characters that are sculpted with clay, like Sally, the noses look kind of upturned. So I'm going to do more of an upturned nose on mine. So I'll make my 2 little nostril dots here. And I'm just kind of going to flesh out a little upturned nose. And I'm going to do some eyebrows. I want to look a little worried, so my eyebrows are going to angle up. But again, you could do any kind you want. And just some really thin lines. I'm not even going to go crazy with the nose. The nose is mostly shading, not lines. So maybe there's some lines there. And same thing with the mouth. So draw your mouth. You can look for reference. I know you can't see this, but I'm looking at references. Artists look all the time at different things, whether it's your face in the mirror. And I'm literally just kind of drawing on top and drawing on top. Once you get your drawing to a point where you're like, okay, I feel like it's a hot mess, but I like where things are, then we're going to start to go over it. You can go over it with dark pencil. I'm going to do it with Sharpie because I can erase better. And I'm just kind of drawing in my bigger details. And then my next step will be to take my Sharpie markers, something that won't really erase easily. I like to use different thicknesses and thinnesses. And now I'm going to go over and make my lines. So I got my hairline here. I'm drawing that first because it overlaps a lot of things. And I'm actually going to draw my cheekbones kind of coming in a little bit. You don't have to. And then come down. And now I'm kind of finalizing using my rough draft sketch underneath to kind of help me. And I'm drawing and outlining and drawing and outlining. You can switch. You don't have to draw every single line. You see, like with my nose and the mouth, I'm just drawing like little suggestions. You can also switch to different thicknesses and thinnesses if you want. You can go back. Maybe I'll start just with thin. I'll go back and add some thicker lines. But I'm just kind of finalizing where I want everything to be. Thin little nose suggestions, my eyebrows. And I'm going very fast, so feel free to pause the video, take your time. I also realized I didn't put some clothes on, so I'm going to put some clothes on my person. Oh my. There we go. I did in pencil first. Okay, I like that. Now I can finalize with my Sharpie. And you can also add a lot of accessories, things in the background. Maybe there's some kind of cool patterns. Maybe you're wearing an interesting shirt. Maybe you love to play a certain instrument, so you're going to include that. You can include a lot of things in your self-portrait that tell a story about who you are. If you wanted to, you could use stencils. Just going to add a few little eyelashes, nothing crazy. But I want you to personalize this. Obviously, as a self-portrait, you're going to make it your own, but you can exaggerate certain features about yourself, and it's not going to look exactly like you. If you have short hair, well, your Tim Burton character will probably have short hair, but that might be where things stop. Maybe you have the same kind of clothes on, but that might change as well. So once you're done with your Sharpie outline, then I will go through and I clean it up by erasing my pencil lines. When you do this, be very careful because sometimes your paper will bend. So I do hold my paper down flat. You can erase a lot of your rough draft underneath. And in the next video series, we'll start to talk about shading and filling in with color or black and white, charcoal. One of my favorite things is using either white colored pencils or white pencils. But now you can start to see more of your finalized drawing coming to life. I hope that helps. Please use a mirror, use resources, and remember, this doesn't look exactly like you. It's your self-portrait in the style of artist Tim Burton. Have fun. Good luck. Go back and forth and pause the video.